Howdy guys, this tutorial is going to walk you through finding a solution on a graph. So if you remember several weeks ago now, pretty much your first assignment, actually I think it was your first assignment when we started learning remotely, was about finding the number of solutions on a graph. Okay, then I took you into our geometry unit a little bit, and now we're going to go back into finding solutions on a graph. I did that for strategic reason. But here we go. Okay. So the first thing with finding a solution on a graph. So, if you are having trouble and you don't remember, how do you know if it has one solution, no solutions, or infinitely many? On your Google assignment, I did link, so it says review if needed. I did put the video where I taught you that. So if you need to go back and watch that to refresh your memory, you can. Okay, I'm going to assume that you know it for this tutorial video, but I did link it in case you need to spend time reviewing. Okay, so when we are trying to find the solution this time, I don't just want to know how many solutions I have. I actually want to know what number would work in there, or in this case on a graph, what coordinate would work in there. Okay, so I'm given two equations, and there are actually three ways to find the solutions. You could graph it, you could use the substitution method, or you could use the elimination method. And so learning those three methods are the very last thing that we're going to be able to cover for 8th grade math. Okay, and I'm just going to do graphing for just today because I think we need to spend more time focusing on the other two. Okay, so you're going to be given two or more sets of equations. Okay, typically in 8th grade, you're just going to see two. Okay, and the first thing you need to do before you can tell me what the solution is you actually are going to have to graph these two equations. So I found this website. It's ixl.com. It actually lets you practice um, 10 problems a day for free. So you could actually go to this website if you wanted to. I linked it in your lesson. So I said, if you'd like to practice, you can go here. And it will let you do 10 questions for free. If you want to do more than that, you'd have to have a paid account. So just do the 10. Over here on the right, it will show you your SMART score. And the highest you can get for the 10 on this particular assignment is a 74. Okay. And so, if you want to practice that, you can. If you want to practice it again and it's not a new day, because remember, I only let you do 10 a day, then you can clear your history on your computer or your cookies on your computer, and it should let you do it again. Okay. And then the last thing before we really get started, I am going to put a symbol. I'm going to tell you a secret symbol somewhere in this video. It's going to be your job to send me that symbol in a private message, just like we did with the previous assignment. That is the only thing you have to do to get credit for today. Okay. So back to learning math. So I have these two equations and I want to know what the solution is. Not how many solutions they have, but what is the solution. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have to graph it. And if you remember, when you have an equation, the number, the coefficient in front of the variable, that number sitting there is the slope. It's the rise over the run. Okay. And then the number all by itself, the constant, this is your y-intercept. Okay. This is the initial value, the y-intercept, and it's where it crosses the y-axis. So if you are not remembering graphing equations, I have also put that under the review of this lesson. I made a video a couple of years ago, or maybe last year, where I talked about graphing. Okay. So if what I'm doing doesn't make any sense, watch that video first. Okay, so I need to graph it at a 2. It's going to cross the y-intercept at a 2. So I just clicked on it. And then the slope is 4 over 3. They're both positive, which means I'm going to go up and right, because up and right are positive movements. So I'm going to go up 4 and then right 3. And the cool thing about this program online is it actually does the whole line for you, so you don't have to keep graphing it. Okay, and then I need to come down here to get the second line, click on it. And now I see that the y-intercept is a positive 3. And then the slope is 5 over 3. So rise is 5, run is 3. So I'm going up 5 and right 3. Okay, and I can see when I'm looking at this graph, these two equations, these two linear lines, these two straight lines, they cross one time, so there's one solution, but this is taking it a step further. Don't just tell me one solution. I want to know what the solution is, and the solution is where the two graphs cross. So the solution is right here, and the way you write it is you just write the ordered pair of this point. So remember, an ordered pair is an x and a y value. Okay, so the x value of this is -3 because I went over 3 to the left, -3, and then I went down 2. So the solution for this is -3, -2. Okay, so the solution is the ordered pair where they cross. Okay, so let's look at a different one. So I don't want to know how many solutions. I want to know what the solution is, the ordered pair where they cross. So in my first equation, I see that my y-intercept is a 1 right here, +1. Okay, and then my slope is 1/3, both positive, so it's up and right. Okay, and now let's look at our second one. The second equation is going to cross at -3 because it says -3. So I go down here. And then I don't see a slope. I don't see a number in front of the variable, in front of the x. So I know when there's not a number there, not a coefficient, that it's understood that it's a 1. Okay? But for slope, we want a fraction. So I can make any number a fraction by putting it over 1. So this would be 1/1. So I go up 1 and over 1. So I can tell that there's one solution here because they cross once, but that's not enough. I need to know what that solution is. So the ordered pair of this point where they cross, I went over 6 to the right, so that's a +6, and I went up 3. And the x always comes first. So the solution is 6, 3. Okay, we're going to do 2 more together. So graph your first graph. So I can see that the y-intercept here is a -4. So -4, so that's a -4. And then I could see that the slope is 2/3, both positive. So I go up 2 and right 3. Okay, and this one looks a little different, a little weird. So it says y equals -6. Okay, and if you remember, y equals, even though the y-axis is up and down, anytime you have y equals, it actually goes horizontally. So y equals 6 makes a horizontal line where y is -6. Okay, so y equals makes a horizontal line at wherever the number is, -6, and there's my horizontal line. X equals would make a vertical line. Okay, so I can tell that these cross once, so there's one solution, but the solution is the ordered pair where they cross. So this point where they cross is at -3, and then we went down 6, which is -6. So this is going to be -3, -6. Okay. Let's graph our first equation. It crosses the y-axis at a +4, a +4. And then the slope is 4, but I want it as a fraction, so I could put it over 1. They'd both be positive, so it's up 4 and right 1. Okay, so y equals 0. I go on the y-axis where y equals 0, and I make a horizontal line. Okay. I can see that there's one solution because they cross once, and the solution is this ordered pair. So I went over 1 to the left, so that's a -1, and I didn't go up or down at all, so that would be 0. Okay. Your symbol that you need to write in your private comment is going to be the % symbol that is on the same key as the number 5. So if you hit shift and then the number 5, you'll get the % symbol. So I want to see the % symbol on a private message in Google Classroom, and I'll know you watched this video, but just to review what you need to do. So you're going to watch this lesson that I'm recording right now, right? You're going to send me a private message with the symbol I just told you about. If you would like to practice on your own, and of course I would really love that you do it, but this website, it's hard to do a screenshot just for, anyway, it's confusing. So if you'd like to practice on your own, you can go to this website and practice. The highest score you can get is a 70. I can't remember if I said 72 or 74. And then you'll know you got them all right. You can clear your history if you want to and then try again. That's why I don't want to give it for a grade, because that gets a little confusing for people. And then, yeah, so it's not so much the screenshot that's confusing. It's clearing your history if you want to try to get a better grade. Okay. If you had a lot of trouble with this video, remember you can go back and watch these 2 review videos. They're not mandatory, but if you need to review those concepts, they're there for you. Okay. So watch this video, send me the private message with the symbol, practice at this IXL website if you'd like. And then if you need a review, it gives you what to review. So I hope that helped. It is pretty fast, but I want to spend most of the time on system of equations with the 2 other methods we need to learn.